Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're getting into that powerful psychological force that keeps us all wanting more. You know, the reason we feel like we're on a treadmill that just never, ever stops.
All right, let's start with a feeling I'm pretty sure we all know. That endless scroll through your social feed, reaching for just one more snack, or that weirdly automatic search for the next thing to buy the second your last package arrives. So what's the engine behind this constant and, let's be honest, pretty unsatisfying loop? And you know what? As modern as this feels, it's not a new problem. It's not something our smartphones created. This is actually a core part of the human experience. And get this, an ancient language has a single, perfect word that absolutely nails what's going on.
Okay, so the word we're talking about comes from the ancient Pali language, and that word is Taṇhā. It's the perfect name for that very specific psychological hunger we all feel.
Now, this isn't just a simple translation for craving or desire. It's so much more specific than that. The word itself is actually describing the process, that energetic chain reaction of getting hooked on a feeling and then feeling this powerful compulsion to do something about it.
And this is what I find so fascinating. The sound of the word literally tells you how it works. You have ta, which is that moment of contact, like landing on something. And then you have naha, which is the energy that just explodes from that contact, this hot, spreading flow, kind of like a fire catching.
So if you put it all together, Taṇhā is really that initial spark. It's that jolt of hot energy that ignites the second a feeling makes contact with your mind. And it's a feeling that demands you do something about it right now. Either grab it and pull it closer, or push it away as fast as you can.
All right, so how does this actually show up in our lives? I mean, how can we see it? Well, to make this invisible process totally visible, the ancient texts use these incredibly powerful analogies. And what's amazing is they're just as relevant today as they were thousands of years ago.
Let's start with the first analogy. Imagine this. You're lost at sea. You're desperately, painfully thirsty, and the only thing around you to drink is salt water.
So you take a drink, and for a split second, it feels like relief. It feels like you're solving the problem. But we all know what happens next, right? The salt just creates this vicious feedback loop. The very thing you do to quench your thirst ends up making you even more thirsty.
And this is such a perfect illustration. Taṇhā isn't the act of drinking the water. It's the flawed logic, that desperate belief that says just one more sip, this one will finally fix it. It's the name for the process where trying to satisfy the urge only makes the urge grow bigger.
All right, analogy number 2. Picture yourself with this big, beautiful clay pot. Your one goal is to fill it to the brim with water. Simple enough, right? Except there's a hole in the bottom.
But you don't notice the hole. So you work like crazy, driven by this intense need to see that pot get full. You just pour and pour and pour, completely focused on the task, totally blind to a critical piece of information about the pot itself. So in this picture, Taṇhā isn't the water, and it isn't the pot. It's that compulsive, frantic energy of pouring. It's that obsessive drive to finish a task that's literally impossible, all because you're blind to the real problem.
Okay, let's bring this home to the 21st century. Here's an analogy I think we're all maybe a little too familiar with. Something we do every single night.
Just think about it for a second. You see a video you like. That's a pleasant feeling, so what do? You keep scrolling to find more. Then you see something you dislike, an unpleasant feeling. So you scroll even faster to get away from it. See what's happening? A good feeling and a bad feeling produce the exact same action, more scrolling.
This right here is the modern face of Taṇhā. It is an engine that runs on any kind of feeling. Good or bad, it doesn't matter. And its only job is to make you dissatisfied with this moment and desperate for the next one.
Okay, for our last analogy, I want you to imagine that your mind is a fire. And all the things you want, all those objects of your desire, they're like pieces of wood. They're the fuel.
So the fire is burning, and to keep burning, it demands more fuel. You give it a log, and it roars to life. It gets hotter, it gets bigger, and now it needs even more fuel just to sustain itself. It is literally a hunger that grows by being fed. And this brings us right back to the meaning of the word. Taṇhā is that automatic, heated reaction. It's that hot flow that just grabs the fuel and throws it on the fire, making absolutely sure the fire never, ever goes out.
So, after all this, why does it even matter? Why should you care? Well, because seeing this mechanism clearly, seeing it for what it is, just an automatic, impersonal process, that is the absolute first step to taking back your power of choice.
The big takeaway here is that the engine's purpose was never to make you happy. It wasn't designed for satisfaction. Its only job is to keep running, to keep seeking, to keep throwing fuel on the fire. It's designed to expand the thirst, not to quench it.
Now, the solution isn't to try and stop feelings from happening. I mean, that's just impossible. The real key, the real power, is to notice the moment that engine ignites, to see that pull for what it is. It's just a signal, it's not a command. And in that tiny moment of awareness, you can actually say to yourself, there's the thirst again. But not today. Today, I'm not drinking the salt water.
Just by naming that itch, by recognizing the energy of Taṇhā as it shows up, you create this tiny little gap, a space between the signal and your automatic reaction. And it is in that small, quiet, but incredibly powerful space, that's where your freedom begins.